Hey guys, Knuckles Dawson here, and we're back with Pure, and we're looking at the World Tour and its first stage of 4 events. So we're going to start the World Tour and pick our character. I went with Susie Andrews, and then we're going to create our first ATV, which gives you an achievement actually. So you can either hand pick the parts and select them in color and customize them, or you can just repeatedly hit Y or repeatedly hit X to get your freestyle or race ATV, and then boom, you got your one of a kind for 5 gamer score. And after that, we're going to move on to the first event, which is a race. And after we pick our ATV, we're going to have at it. So the first race, the announcer or narrator guy is kind enough to give you some sort of heads up tips and stuff. Like, for example, after you complete this first jump and trick, he's going to explain how it works.
Tricks add juice to the thrill bar in the bottom right corner of the screen. Keep filling it to unlock bigger tricks using the other buttons.
Now what you can do at the beginning of every jump is something called preloading, which you see that sort of semi-half circle that shows a percentage sign. Basically what you're doing is at the beginning of a jump, you're pulling back on the thumbstick and then hitting up at the very peak of the jump so that you get max air out of it. Sort of like basically doing an ollie with your ATV. And I just got owned by a stray one at that. When performing a trick, if you pull the left or right bumper, you will actually tweak the trick, and that'll give you twice as much boost as if you just did the trick by itself, so that's good stuff right there.
You've got enough juice to do intermediate tricks. Try one on the next big jump.
And that is part of the risk and reward by doing too many tricks and biting off more than you can chew and crashing. But it respawns you pretty quick, so that's pretty good. But you lose boost and you lose time.
You've got enough juice to do expert tricks. Try one on the next big jump.
So if you look at the bottom right throw bar, you'll see that you have the face buttons of A, B, and Y, all representing types of tricks you can do for beginner, intermediate, and expert. And then the boost or throw bar is actually in blue, which represents the X button, which is how you do your boost. It's all color coded and pretty easy for you. And also if you get spun out like I just did, it'll automatically reset you. So we're going to do a couple of expert tricks which will max out our throw bar, give us a little white star, and unlock some special tricks which would use both bumpers.
Build your thrill bar and prepped a special trick. Use your boost, then trigger your special trick at the next big jump. Land it to fill your thrill bar up again.
So just for the record, that lazy girl trick was up while pulling both bumpers to perform a special trick, and when you perform a special trick and actually land it, that'll give you about 3/4 of a thrill bar, so you can't go from minimum like no boost all the way up to max again just by pulling a trick. You still have to have some left over, but you can do intermediate tricks in between it, and you'll still have that star until the next time you do a special trick, or until the next time you dismount from either crashing or going too far off course. And you notice here I'm doing laser girl again, so rather than saying fresh, it says tame, so I won't get as much boost. And in other game types like freestyle, you'll actually get penalized for overdoing it, and here I go off course and lose a bunch of boost for falling off the edge there. Oops. Ouch. Looks like I got a little greedy there. Now you'll notice that there are little things in the throw bar that sort of show the threshold for each trick type. So as you use boost, either by crashing or by actually going faster, if it goes below that threshold, you'll lose those intermediate or expert tricks, so you won't get as much boost, so you have to go it's sort of a balance between, do you want to save up boost to get, you know, max throw bar or whatever, because at the higher end it actually lasts longer. Here I fall off stage a bit into a kill zone, another penalization there, but you know, now I have no boost, and so I'm back to square one and just doing the basic tricks. To perform forward or back flips, what you do is you double tap the thumbstick, either up or down, and then hold it. You can also perform tricks while doing that and tweak them as well for insanely awesome thrill bar boost ownage. If you're wondering why I'm using a chick rider, it's because it doesn't really change gameplay at all, and if you're gonna see someone do something like that and go spread eagle, do you really want to be a guy's character model? I mean, seriously, ask yourself that first. Alright, albeit messily, we got our first win under our belt and got finished the event for 5 gamer scores, so that's a quick achievement. Now we're going to actually skip ahead to the results screen of the second event, which you saw in the original video with Floss event and all the other achievements, just sort of to show that immediately afterwards you get some cool swag. And once you clear past selecting that, you actually get an achievement for unlocking stage 2 because you have enough points to move on to the next stage. But since we're going for all the wins, we're going to move on to stage 3 and continue on from there.
Got enough juice to do expert tricks. Try one on the next big jump. You've filled your thrill bar and prepped a special trick. Use your boost, then trigger your special trick at the next big jump. Land it to fill your thrill bar up again.
So a strategy I like to use is to actually build up my thrill bar to max and then on a straightaway use a lot of speed to get it to a jump and then throw on my special trick. In this case it's propeller, which is right on the thumbstick and pulling both bumpers. So lo and behold, I actually went through a whole lap without crashing in a regular race. It doesn't really count sprint, so that's why I didn't get it in the previous video. But there we got, flawless lap, and I'd like to think that the rest of the race is going to be like that, but I have a sneaking suspicion it won't, because this is early on in the career and stuff. So not only are the harder tricks a little bit more, take a little bit more time for your character to pull off, but they also are less lenient. Like with that one-handed knack, I was able to land pretty late and still like not fail off of it. So we got one more lap to go, and then we're on to the final event, which is a sprint, and pretty quickly. That stings, and it's kind of scary to think that the camera follows the character as it ragdolls through the sand. Alright, 3 down, 1 to go, and we even got a flawless lap on there at the beginning there. So now we're on to the final sprint, and away we go. That's a pretty ominous drop, and I can see why Disney Interactive would have it cut away to respawning as quickly as it did, because I wouldn't want to see how that ended at all. So the key to sprint events is that they are short laps that are usually around 30 or so seconds, and they only have a couple of jumps strewn here and there, and you need to utilize those to get maximum speed and or boost from doing tricks. And you'll note that I'm not exactly doing the best job of that here, but I'm still managing to keep up here because I only failed once, and it's also the first stage, so it's going to be a little bit more lenient than later on when they're pretty stingent about how efficient you are along the track. But we got one more lap to go, and then we'll have our first stage of the Pure World Tour under our belt, and off to the next one afterwards. Let this be a lesson to you. Don't get greedy. Boom, that's our 4th win in 4 events, and so we've unlocked the achievement for completing stage 1.
Full house! One rider taking home the win in every event ain't something... The Pure Tour consists of 10 stages. At first, you've only got access to the first one.
And you'll find video guides for the rest on achievementhunter.com.